Hi, I'm Keith Ramsey with Garden Supply Company. Today we're going to do a workshop on shiitake mushrooms. We're going to talk about how to inoculate logs, and it's a perfect backyard project.
Alright, so I'm Nick Fox. This is Rob Jones. We co-own Wood Fruit, which is a gourmet and medicinal mushroom company based out of Durham and Carborough. We started the company last year, and we're growing about 9 different species at our peak. We'll be growing both indoor in a climate-controlled environment and outdoor on logs and wood chips, similar to what we'll be doing today. So we work with both gourmet edibles that we do direct market sales through farmers markets and restaurant sales, and also medicinal. So we make a number of medicinal preparations, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. Most mushrooms are medicinal. I would say all mushrooms have medicinal properties, and very undervalued for their medicinal properties, but they can be very potent. Mushrooms, yeah, I guess we'll talk about that in due time. So what we'll be doing today is inoculating sweet gum logs with shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake is one of the more commonly grown mushrooms in the world, probably the most popular specialty mushroom outside of the button mushroom, which is the most common and most popularly grown. One of the most popular specialty mushrooms in the United States.
The methods that we'll be using today to grow the shiitake can be used to grow a number of different species, including oyster mushrooms. With some slight modifications, you can grow hen of the woods, or also known as the maitake, hericium, which is the lion's mane fungus, and then the reishi, which is one of the medicinal mushrooms that we've brought along today. So using the same equipment here, but with some slightly different care instructions, basically, you can grow a number of different species.
So I brought one of these logs. This is one that the garden center has for sale. This is already inoculated, and you can see on the ends and weaving through some of the bark this white substance here. And if any time you are in the forest or in your backyard and you scrape away some leaves, or you see some rotting wood, you may see this white substance here running through. Oftentimes it'll look like a branch structure. Sometimes it'll just look like kind of random white patches, and you won't see any structure to it just because it's so small. But that is mycelium more often than not. What we'll be working with is sweet gum logs today. And sweet gum is one of the most available and best wood species to work with when we're talking about growing these type of wood-loving mushrooms. Sweet gum grows really quickly. It's very weedy. It's widely available locally. And it also breaks down relatively easily, i.e. there's available food sources for the mushrooms. The general rule of thumb is that the denser the wood material that you're using, the longer it takes for the mycelium to colonize it, meaning the longer it takes for the mycelium to start fruiting. But then subsequently, the longer it'll last in a mature fruiting stage. So the sweet gum is a very, very light wood, meaning it's not very dense. So that it'll colonize really, really quickly. It'll start fruiting sooner, but it may not last as many years as, say, a white oak. White oak being the premium tree species for shiitake production. The disadvantages of, say, of white oak, again, it's going to take longer to colonize, and one, it's just not as available in the wild. A similarly sized white oak to a sweet gum is going to be at least twice as old. So that the reproduction rate, if you cut down a white oak, is going to be so much slower than a sweet gum. For a log that's 3 feet wide, you want to drill holes every 6 inches down on a line, and then you turn the log, and maybe 3 inches away from that, maybe even 2 inches on a smaller log like this, you want to drill another line, but alternate those holes And so what you'll have is a diamond pattern going around the log, where you've got every 6 inches you've got holes, and then on the next row every 6 inches you've got a staggered set of holes. And what that'll ensure is that you've got mycelium injected all 360 degrees around the log, and when it spreads, it's covering every surface inside of this log. And that'll ensure that any competing fungi will quickly get outcompeted, and that the colonization of this log by this mycelium happens really, really rapidly.
Okay, so when we're drilling these logs out, you always want to start within each line within an inch of the end. And so what's remarkable about this tool is it's got a screw bit on the tip, so you literally just have to touch it to the log. It'll suck it in and release as soon as it reaches the bottom, and then you can pull it back out. As Nick was saying, when you've got as you're drilling down the log, when you come to a spot with where a limb has been cut off, or you see any signs of a rot like this, there's a little bit of rot right here. You want to do some extra holes around those spots to so that you get lots of mycelium in there to outcompete whatever kind of fungi, other fungi.
Fill up with sawdust, as you can see here. Once it fills up, just place it. It doesn't actually go inside the hole; just sits right on top of it. And what you want to see is it packs nice and tight in here. Everyone, if you want to come in, you can take a look. It'll be packed nice and tight just below the rim. Pounds down in there, and then all right. So you can check it with your finger to make sure it's nice and dense. Sometimes if you don't get enough in there, and it's not packed nice and tight inside of your plunger, it won't pack nice and tight inside of that hole. It'll be loose and sometimes it could fall out. If it packs nice and tightly, then it'll be stuffed in there, it won't fall out. That's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really amazing.
Yeah, this makes it really a dream if someone else can come in here.
Well, as you can see, it's a little bit involved to inoculate your own shiitake logs. We do sell them at Garden Supply Company, so you can come in, pick up a log, have it at the house, get your kids involved and see the logs actually fruit and harvest your own shiitakes. We do other workshops like this, and we keep different things coming on all throughout the year. You can always visit our website at www.gardensupplyco.com. Thanks again.